Now, teaching about tolerance to the very youngest children in school. The lessons are certainly not new, but in some communities, they're taking on a new urgency and relevance in the wake of deep racial divides, social tensions, and violence around the country.
Yes, race, social tensions, and violence. Exactly the kinds of topics we should be tackling in preschool.
We're going to take out the mirror now, we're going to look at ourselves, and we're going to make our own face.
In this Alameda, California preschool, a box of crayons with a multitude of colors is helping little kids learn big lessons.
So put your hand and decide what you think is the best suited for you.
That's it, kids. Focus on your skin color. Focus on the crayon that looks the closest to your skin color. Skin color is important. Skin color is very important.
Teacher Tiffany Battle asks the children to look carefully at their own skin color and their classmates' skin colors.
Let's put our hands in.
To notice differences and similarities.
I'm black and white.
Now pay close attention not only to your skin color, but also the skin color of others, kids, because the way we dismiss race from being a factor in how we socialize with or assess one another is to focus inordinately on race. Reverse psychology, I tells ya.
The art project is just one of many ways children are introduced to an anti-bias curriculum here at the Child Unique Montessori School, a private tuition-funded program.
Teaching anti-bias. Anti-bias. Got it.
Okay, so go ahead and color your skin in.
Cindy Acker is the school's founder and principal.
Within any color of someone's skin, there are many, many different colors, and so we want them to appreciate the diversity within their own individuality.
All right, what does skin color have to do with individuality? What does an arbitrary characteristic have to do with defining a person as an individual? And how does such thinking not tempt fate towards tribalism based on skin color?
And then we want them to be able to see and question other children's differences.
See and question each other's differences based on skin color. So, questioning differences based on skin color, this will help to alleviate racial tensions and divisions. Got it.
If you add this lighter color to it, what do you think is going to happen?
It's going to be lighter.
Yeah. We're different on the outside, but inside we have lungs, we have a heart, we have a mind, and that's the same.
Yes. So isn't it a healthier idea to have kids relate to each other in the absence of dwelling on differences in skin color? Why not just let them learn together as people rather than as shades?
Talking about racial differences is not new at the school. Acker started the program more than 30 years ago, and it was among the first of its kind in the country to focus on diversity and inclusion at such an early age. But she says the curriculum seems more important than ever.
Yes. In a world of rising fears of racial tensions and divisions, what we really need to be teaching the next generation is the value and importance of paying attention to skin color and looking at it as an aspect of one's individual identity. Racial identity. Nothing promotes societal peace and unity more than that.
To me, the things that are going on in the world today give us an indication that we need a major shift in how we perceive people, how we honor people, how we treat people. And because I'm a firm believer that it begins at the preschool level, I think that that's where we need to start.
Well, that is the golden rule of ideological indoctrination. Get 'em while they're young.
Sophie, are you going to make it out?
Acker points to racial divides witnessed in recent events like the violent neo-Nazi protests in Charlottesville, Virginia, the police shootings of black men, and the debate over NFL players taking a knee to protest racism.
What we have seen is a resurfacing or a surfacing of what we thought was absent but sits within the psyche of some individuals.
Yes, racial fear and hysteria was something that had been on the downswing for a long time until relatively recently, primarily under the Obama administration. And conjuring up such things is within the psyche of some individuals. It is fascinating that our teacher here happily separates herself from that number.
One thing I've been seeing is that
Louise Derman Sparks has written several books about teaching anti-bias to preschoolers.
Whoa, wait a second. What's that one book say? What if all the kids are white? You need a handbook on how to handle too many kids of the same skin color. Got it. And there's that phrase again. Anti-bias.
the truth is that young children notice differences very early. By the age of 3 and 4, they're asking questions. They're beginning to develop and to absorb the stereotypes and misinformation, discomforts. Don't like to call it prejudices. It's kind of like pre-prejudice. So the myth that they aren't noticing, the idea of being colorblind, actually harms kids.
Right. Being colorblind is a myth. Treating skin color no differently than hair or eye color and explaining such to kids is harmful. Kids need to take note of racial differences. They need to be alerted to the importance of racial differences. This is how we will combat racism, by dwelling on skin color from an early age. Got it.
Derman Sparks says preschool teachers who talk about the differences and similarities among their students create an environment where misinformation and fears can be addressed.
For instance, if you have dolls of different types and a child refuses to play with a doll that's got dark skin, teacher can say, how come you don't want to play with so-and-so? And depending on what the child says, you can then decide to help overcome whatever the discomfort is.
Yes. A child having a particular preference for one doll over another is really a sign of innate racism. Innate racism that must be corrected in that child. They cannot be allowed to simply play as they like. Their type of play must be approached with and guided through the lens of race. Got it.
We are all different.
That's exactly the atmosphere teacher Francesca Conterno hopes to create for her students at a public preschool.
Ah, a public preschool. A public preschool that operates on state and federal funding. Proceed.
Conterno teaches 3- and 4-year-olds in the Hayward Unified District.
Someone might hear about a program like this and think, gosh, race and racism or highlighting differences, that's not something that should be done in a classroom, especially a preschool classroom. How would you respond?
I would say, why not?
Your response to a direct question is to answer with a different question. Noted.
It's the perfect setting. It is absolutely the perfect setting. We have families in the classroom. It's a safe place. People develop relationships. Perfect setup for honest conversations.
That might indeed be a contender for the non-answer of the year, which tells us quite a bit, actually.
Conterno does not ask children directly about fears or misconceptions about race. Instead, she believes materials that highlight equality can provide a powerful message in the classroom. Derman Sparks agrees.
If most of the books show white people and very few show people of color, then that's a message for the teachers who are white, or if the teacher's white but the assistants are always people of color. These are all messages to kids about who matters, who's visible, who's not.
If there are too many white people in books, if there are too many white teachers, Too many people of the incorrect skin color is an unhealthy message to preschoolers. Yes. Tell me again about anti-bias.
Conterno sees the sometimes uncomfortable questions children do ask about race and gender as teachable moments.
Too many times you see in classrooms, teachers will respond to that by play nice or we're all friends in here, when it's a perfect opportunity to go a little bit deeper.
Yes, it is a perfect opportunity to go deeper. Rather than dismissing such factors of appearance as non-issues and playing up the simple equality of being other people, it is a perfect time to indoctrinate small children into your own social ideology of racial paranoia. Got it.
So you see how we have one shade of brown, we have even a lighter shade here, right?
Right.
We have all of these different colors. So I have a feeling there's probably more than two, right?
Right.
How was your day? You want to do the swinging?
Back at the Child Unique Montessori School, parent Shawnee Keck
Jump kick!
says she chose the program for her 3 children because of its strong focus on equity and social justice. But she says her husband did have questions about the anti-bias curriculum.
I have a tall white husband, and he was absolutely concerned, especially for our son who was in the elementary school.
A tall, white husband. And his skin color has what to do with it? Oh, wait, right. Making race an important part of one's identity is a good thing. His role as a father to those children isn't a motive to consider. Rather, his race is a factor of doubt to apply to his intentions. Got it.
Saying, does this make him feel worse? Does this make him feel like he might be, somebody that should be feeling bad about his whiteness?
Yes, that is a legitimate concern. Especially since even you, as their mother, classify the color of their skin as whiteness, as though it were some kind of medical condition, rather than a functional irrelevancy. So, how do you respond to your husband's concerns for the welfare of your children?
I don't think so. I don't think it's not pie. Just because you have a piece doesn't mean somebody else doesn't get a piece.
What? It's not like a pie. Just because you have a piece doesn't mean somebody else doesn't get a piece. A piece of what? What the hell is she even talking about?
They said you can mix colors. Did you like that?
Amitra Mamdui also chose the school for its focus on diversity, but she points out that for 2, 3, and 4-year-olds, the conversation is kept very simple.
Of course, you don't start talking about the new Jim Crow or prison industrial complex. You're not starting that at a young age, but just to recognize that, okay, different colors exist because of melanin, and this is natural, and we're all different, but we're also similar. We bleed, we cry, we love.
Oh, yes, of course. Right now, you just want them to think about simple things, like skin color. Racially charged conspiracy theories, like the new Jim Crow and the prison industrial complex, you should save those until those children are far more mature. In 1st grade.
Light a candle for peace, light a candle for love.
For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Kat Wise in Alameda County, California.
The ideal notion of what role race should play in a civilized society was best encapsulated by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. when he said, "I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character." So the true goal, as I understand it, is to make skin color an irrelevancy, to give as much determinative weight to skin color as we do eye color or hair color when it comes to assessing someone. And you might think that what we've just seen is an attempt to do that. See how all of your skin colors are different, kids? It doesn't matter at all. We're all different. Now, Let's talk about the new Jim Crow. Let's talk about whiteness. Let's talk about how important skin color is in determining your life chances, and whether or not it is appropriate for you to hold a position of authority next to someone else of a different skin color. Some of the things these teachers are saying may sound harmless, but they are merely laying the groundwork for racial divisions, not curing them. They are using simple games with children as a delivery mechanism for racial fear, racial guilt, and racial tensions. The most worrying thought I had while watching this video goes back to that book title. What if all the kids are white? I really have to wonder that if such a thing is thought of as a problem, then it chills me to consider what some teacher might decide is the correct solution to the race question. As always, thank you for watching.